welcome to Amsterdam. So, can you share with me what's your new position?
So I am an assistant professor in intercultural communication and responsible leadership.
Okay, wonderful. And can you tell me more about yourself? What is your background?
Sure. I was born in the United States. I lived there for the first 21 years of my life. I have a background in intercultural communication, so I did my PhD in Switzerland, starting in 2016 and finishing about 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from and how I would situate myself intellectually.
Wow, that's very intercultural.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And is there a fun fact about you that you can share?
You know, I was thinking about fun facts, and I had to do something regarding language and culture and intercultural communication. So, a fun fact is that there is an existence of a constructed language, a conlang, called Talkie-Pona. Now, Talkie-Pona has the smallest amount of vocabulary that a conlang can have. It is because it's based on the principle that good is also simple, and the words mean talkie as in language and bona as in good, but also simple. So the word is both those meanings, and I just thought that's really fun kind of use of language and yeah, something cultural.
Philosophical as well.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me about your hobbies?
You know, I don't really have a lot of hobbies. I read a lot. So I read a lot of nonfiction books, and I also listen to audiobooks. So typically on any given day, I will listen to an audiobook in the morning on my way to work, for example, and then in the evening, I kind of de-stress by reading a book before I go to sleep. So I would say it's kind of boring, but reading is my hobby.
What's your favorite book?
Oh my gosh, right now, my favorite book, I would say I have a favorite author. It's Octavia Butler. She's an Afrofuturist writer, and it was just super prescient. She was like really spot on with her predictions. She passed away in 2004, but predicted some things that happened after her demise. So it was really, really like scary to read. Like this woman was writing about this in the 90s, and it's happening now. So yeah, and I love sci-fi, so it's from an interesting perspective as well.
That's really cool, I have to say. And can you share what's your professional goals are at AMSIP?
At AMSIB, I would say that my professional goals are to continue with the research that I do. So I do research on diversity and representation, institutions, how institutions represent diversity, and I would like to continue that as well as contribute a critical perspective to the teaching that happens here. So one of the things that I do, I come from the Critical Intercultural School of Communication, and I think that I would love to kind of, expose students to maybe something that's a little bit more incisive. So those are two of my goals, I would say. Continue with the research, obviously go for funding, get grants, advance in the career in that way, but then also, I really like teaching and I really like helping students understand culture in the world.
I love it, as a student as well. So what is a personal dream that you can share?
One of my dreams, it might be unimaginable, unrealistic, but I would like to own an apartment.
Yeah, I share that dream with you.
Yeah. Well, specifically, I would like to own an apartment that overlooks a park, and perhaps Sarfati Park in Amsterdam. But yeah, so this is maybe a pipe dream. There are millions of dollars, but that's just something that I would love to do eventually, if at all possible.
Okay. If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
I would travel to Japan. Yeah, the farthest east I've been is India, and so I've never been to East Asia, and I just really enjoy Japanese food, the language as well. I think it's really cool. So yeah, I think it would be fun to experience Japan.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, next question. What's the most adventurous thing you've done, or maybe something that's still on your bucket list, or maybe both?
On my bucket list, so I've lived in a lot of different places, and I'm getting kind of tired. I'm 34 years old, but I also feel like, maybe it's time to take a little bit of a break and relax. But I would say the most adventurous thing that I've ever done is I was living in Germany at the time, and I was kind of slated to do a master's in Germanistik, in German language studies. And rather than do that, I opted to do a master's program that was based in Germany, Argentina, and India. and I had no reason to do this. I had no basis. There was no funding, and so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see how it works. And every semester I was so broke that I was like trying to figure out how to make it to the next country. But I think looking back, it was probably the most perfect thing I could have done. So it was the right choice. But in the during, I was very much not sure if I would finish.
Okay, I get it. And the last question. So you told me you love books, so you're gonna love this question.
Yeah.
If you had to write a book about your life, what would be the name and the genre?
Okay. It's funny. So I think I would do something against expectations. I would say probably that would be the title, something like Against Expectations or Outside of the Box or something like this, the Gian Hernandez story, but I would want to do a graphic novel. Yeah, so it wouldn't be, I love books, I love writing, I love reading, but I think, maybe it would be really cool to have something that's a little bit more sort of non-standard.
That's amazing. I love it. Okay, thank you. That was it. That was the last question.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, bye-bye.